Did you know if you're a farmer, you can get your low tunnels paid for by the NRCS? Through a recently launched government program, farmers can get between $4 and $5 per square foot in reimbursement towards a Quick Hoops low tunnel system. That's free money to help increase production on your farm. Learn more about Quick Hoops and the NRCS program at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below. For people listening to this or watching this, soil organic matter, I think people can understand it near the surface when you get a lot of residue on top that gets worked into the surface just through natural processes. But the deeper down soil organic matter, what's actually happening biologically below the soil to increase soil matter at depth? Is this just roots that are in the soil that have now the plant stopped growing, the roots are left in the soil? Is that how organic matter is being built in the soil? Where is the rise in organic matter on the soil test coming from when you think about what's actually happening in the soil?
Various ways that it's getting in the soil. The first one being, and the one that I think is most related to cover cropping practices and eliminating your fallow periods, is that, yeah, your plants have roots and those go to various depths in the soil. But there's a lot of plants need a lot of nutrients to grow, and they don't have access to a lot of those on their own. And so through photosynthesis, plants use sunlight, carbon dioxide to make sugars, and they use that for their own energy to grow. But what they do is they send a lot of that sugar down into their roots, and it's exuded out at their roots to attract, I don't want to say symbiotic, it's a symbiotic relationship, but they attract these different microbes that they know are capable of breaking down and providing them with those kind of nutrients and the forms of nutrients that they need. And so as these roots are penetrating down in the soil, they're recruiting all of these microbes. And by pushing those sugars out, that's what sugar is, an organic material that's going out there. It's fostering the growth of bacteria and fungi. And when there's bacteria and fungi present, there's going to be other stuff that eats bacteria and fungi present. And it just is the start of this incredibly large ecosystem of living things that are all organic in nature. And so as those things live and die and eat and excrete things, like all of that is increasing the organic components that are in your soils. And so that's, as far as like how does that get in deeper? The plant roots is definitely a primary way, but you also have to look at when you roll a cover crop down or bush hog it and you leave a residue on top. Over time, that residue disappears, and what's happening is that's breaking down. It's being degraded by microbes on the surface, and that is also going down into the soil through that microbial metabolism as well. And some things run off, rainwater, things like that. I'm not saying that every ounce or piece of organic matter from a residue is going to go down into your soil, but a lot of it does. If you have a healthy soil ecosystem, it's going to break stuff down faster and it goes into the soil quicker. So having cover crops moves that sunlight energy and carbon dioxide in the form of sugars into your soil, and that is pushing and promoting organic matter in the soil. And then when you terminate that cover crop and leave the stuff on the surface, you're also allowing all of that material the opportunity to go back into the soil as in an organic form that can be eaten and decomposed and used by all the living pieces in that soil.
Do you have a sense of organic matter contribution applied at surface versus at depth? One thing I see come up a lot is people, they'll suggest adding on a small scale compost, on a larger scale manures to the surface. And sure, you're putting a lot of organic matter at the soil surface. Do you know how much maybe that is increasing organic matter relative to how much organic matter is being increased below the surface via root and microbial activity? Is the underground portion 1-to-1, do you think, with surface? Is it 2-to-1? Is it 10-to-1? Do you have any sense of where that ratio might be?
I really don't. I really haven't looked at the comparison over time of like surface to roots, or even examining different crop or cover crop species, like how deep those roots go, how deep should we look. I really couldn't say what that would be. Mm-hmm. But in adding, whether it be compost or manures to the surface, there's some nutrient value to that and organic matter in that, but a lot of the benefit from both of those things is also inoculating your soils with good or beneficial microbes. And so if you put them on the surface with some amount of organic matter from that material, it's going to promote their growth, and then they'll be able to continue migrating down into the soil and become an active, productive part of that ecosystem. So you're not, by adding compost and manures, you're not, or you shouldn't just look at it as adding a nutrient supply or an organic matter supply. You're also in that soil with other good microbes that can help keep that system productive and balanced and cycle those nutrients at various levels in the soil profile.
If you enjoy this podcast, then be sure to check out Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, where you can get your daily dose of farm wisdom. Tune in every day to learn the latest tips, tricks, and stories from the world of farming. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just getting started, our podcast has something for everyone. Join us as we explore topics like farm business, crop planning, soil management, and tools and technology. Start your day off right with Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe today.